Hello.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay. Now I'm seeing that how to import all this.
Yes, sir. Uh, Sir, are you looking for screen sharing option?
Yeah.
Sir, there is a screen share option green in color at the bottom of.
Yeah. I got it.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Uh,
So, a very good morning to one and all present here. Welcome to the Faculty Development Program organized by the School of Media and Communication, Adamas University. So, today we are going to have a discussion on web size index journals. So today we have Sir Soumyananda Dinda sir, who is the professor of economics at the University of Burdwan, West Bengal. He is a doctorate from Indian Statistical Institute. His research expertise in domains include development and environmental economics, climate change and trade, green economics, health economics, innovation, and technological progress. There are many other economical aspects that he has always looked into through his research works. He has published over 90 research publications and has more than 7,000 citations in total. So you can understand, dear participants, that Sir is the right person to guide us regarding publication, the do's and don'ts, and the ways in which we can focus towards publishing in Scopus and Web of Science Index journals. So thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation. We welcome you, and the session is over to you. So thank you for being here.
okay. Thank you. Thank you very much for your valuable comments and suggestions. I will expect from all the participants. So I think first is my slide is visible to all of you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Slide.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay. I think all the participants, those who are in this program, have already reached in that they are also in online.
Sir, there are 4 to 5 participants more who are yet to join. So should we wait for 5 minutes till they
So
join?
better, yeah, okay. We start after
Okay.
so 4 5 minutes later. Okay.
Okay. And okay, sir.
Okay.
Sir, our participants have joined. So if you want, we can start the session.
Okay, okay.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Good morning to all participants and your faculty members, whoever in that online. So already Isita has already introduced me about me. So he has kind enough words have used. But I will talked about this particular topic, publication in a UGC care, Scopus or Web Science. So ultimately publication. So on this topic, we'll discuss. I am not saying in terms of this, it is in a lecture. Better we'll interactive way we will go through. That will be better. But initially, maybe I will introduce something related to publications because I have divided in this session in two ways. One is publication, another is its impact. So I think last few days already you have learned a lot of things, and some things will be there is also repetitions, maybe, but I don't know. So initially I will say how you produce your product as a publication channel. This is the channel. So whether this channel will be say print media or electronics media, whatever it is. So there is a lot of media, but I think you know all this, but I will go through only for publications and how you reach in terms of quality publications. So if it is a quality or publications, then what is the impact of that publications? That is our target in terms of say UGC's care list, whether it is in care list, Scopus, or Web Science related, all these. Why we are interested in all these? Why not any journal or any publication? Why we focus on specific category or some specific classification, and which is recognized by our higher education institutes when their parent body, that UGC. Obviously, there is some logic behind it. So I think better you move in this way. So I think everybody is getting this slide properly. Now I'm giving it a full screen. So actually, this is broadly I actually outlined, but within this again I maybe give you some more details outlines. So in case of first I am talking in terms of as in academics, you are doing some research apart from your teaching. So this research, how you can communicate with your audience or research. So there is a lot of issues is there, but here we will focus only that dissemination or publications. In this part only we are focused because their research has a lot of phase. You have to go through one by one phase, and then ultimately you reach your goal. So focus here is only dissemination and publication, because the other phase I will not go through in details, but I will go through in details this part, publication part. So basically, first question is arises why we are interested for publishing any product, any output. Why this publishing? This publishing is your necessary step for scientific process, any way, whether it is as a graduate student or any career professionals. For each and every field nowadays, it becomes an important, particularly in academics. So we are focusing here is only academics related to research. And here I have just written in, you see that what to publish. You have written anything, but whether that is a new original result is giving you, are you interested to communicate some new things or new results, or you want to communicate some new methods? That is, if it is, or you can do something, the review or summarize something, that means review article, some subject related issues is also there. If it is, then you can also go for publication. So review articles, review books, a lot of related this type of article is also available. Even maybe page number may be limited. Similarly, some manuscript in terms of book or even article, anyway, if it is some advanced knowledge or new knowledge is generated, or something new understanding is coming for scientific field, that is also in the, here I am saying in scientific or some knowledge related for any field, any subject, not necessarily only science, social science, pure science, natural science, everything will come under this scope. So if these three major, I am highlighted these three new points, major points, if it is, then only it is publishable. You can go for publication. But what not to publish, just below that I have pointed out just a report of which has no scientific interest. Suppose you are writing some report, but that is not publishable. Or data which is backdated data, that is also not publishable. And most important, the duplications, which is more important at this time, related to this plagiarism, or a lot of issues is there. So this part is mostly important. And I will also show some result related to the Elsevier science. So those who have actually maintained that Scopus, how they are track it and kind of. So, and if there is a conclusion, you have written even suppose new result, new methods, or something new is also there, but your conclusion may not be connected or accurate, or incorrect conclusion on an unacceptable conclusion, then that is also not published. So in all these cases, why you publish? So before you going through for publication, at least you have to understand this one. So here I will just highlight some points related to how to get your article published. So before you start, at least you go through this, your manuscript, type of manuscript. Is it a full article or original article? Or is it a letter to short communications? Or is it a review paper? Or something related, say, your some observation, supervision, self-evaluations, a lot of things. So article, because some journals, they focus on full article or original articles. Some paper consider full articles, review papers, review related to books, review related to software, new technology. A lot of review means a lot of issue is there. Or some articles cover all these, some journals. So you have to first identify that type of manuscript. So in which way you actually want to write your paper. This all is the initial steps you have to follow there. Then you have to also identify the audience for your paper. That means readers. So identify the audience, verify their interest rate. I think all these we have gone through. And determine the interest rate is whether it is the local, national, or international, for whom you are actually writing. So if all these are in your background, in mindset, then you write accordingly, and you then, after writing this, you actually submit this paper, and you follow certain rules. All these for the according to journals guidelines. Each and every journals provide certain guidelines, so you follow that also. And how you select the journal, this one is the most important. So after writing, you select journal, or you before writing, better you select the journal. Then according to the journal guidelines, you write. So in this case, so ask yourself particularly question that is journal is peer reviewed journal or not, and who are the audience of this journal, and minimum time taken for submission to print. So up to date the time average, and ultimately you want to know the impact factor of that journal. So all these will initially you have to know before you writing that paper. Next, I'm coming that how you write a good manuscript. Particularly that content should be clear, useful, and scientific message should be there. Logical flow, and the reader can follow that easily. And better way you show the best showcase material, all this. This is the basic requirement of their journals, and the written style, writing style, if any, particularly, especially reference style, a lot of issues is there. There is. And one thing is more important, I am just giving this one, is the word about your words. The word limit is there, and you have to select your words in proper way, as minimum as possible. If it is the specific word, I am here is giving in a red color that n words, never use n plus words. That means if it is possible within these n words, then you complete that, not add single words extra. That is most important, because word limit is there for each journal. And in this related also that that a reader, and also the reader related to the obviously the editor and a reviewer in this group is also important. So you have to mind it all the manuscript. When you write that manuscript, in which area you will focus, and all these that is your academic part. But beyond that, then you do not take care. If you do not take care on a particular your focus area, then journal may not accept it. So according to journal aims and objective, and your work should be matched together. Otherwise, there will be some problem initial phase, because the editorial, because a lot of process is there. How they select the paper. I'll show you that in another model maybe. And success, particularly a lot of people are thinking, is there any secret success or not? But actually it is the dedication for you have to write on paper or work. Your dedication, hard work is essential, nothing else. And here that if you go write properly, then there is a, because all the following all the guidelines and in appropriate way, then actually the editor, I mean, it will be easy probability of selection, because editors are busy with so many papers, so many articles. So how they will select? Because a lot of articles, they select only few. Similar case reviewer. So both are all engaged in work, but how that will be reduced? So they will go through in quick observation, specific some area of the paper and specific words also. That will be for good. You making your manuscript is good. That means you write the title of the paper, abstract and related keywords or journal specification codes if it is requirement of any journal, because more economics or scientific journals, they need some codes, international codes, and then go through your text, how you present their papers, and ultimately conclusion or suggestion on it. This is the basic structure of one article for any journal. You have idea, you have already done something work, but now you have to arrange in a structured form. In quality journal, I am just giving you this structure outline. It is following the Elsevier science. Elsevier science, they want basically, because Elsevier science journal also varies from science, pure science to social science, but this one is the basic structure in the Elsevier science journals or web science journals. All the journals, they follow basic structure. So first will be there the title, then who are the authors, when a single author or joint author, whatever it is, then the abstract, keywords and main text. And within that main text, there will be some introduction section, methodology, result and discussion, and lastly conclusion. And in between introduction and method, some journals takes that another section is the literature review. But in scientific journals, a lot of scientific journals, few literature, if it is new dimension, new direction, so there are few literature is incorporated in introduction also. So that's why not necessary you have to produce another section of that literature. And you have to acknowledge. So acknowledgements is there. Acknowledgement related to academic input, acknowledgement related to your finance. If anyone is funding, then you can accumulate, acknowledge that one. And also you go through some reference according to their, and if any supplementary materials, you also provide that. This is the basic structure of the article. And actually how you write your paper. Here I am just, this is my view. I am just, even a lot of scientific articles. First, if it is some empirical, because we are doing more empirical in economics, in business journals, all these cases, data related information is more important. And on the basis of that, we will conclude or something, we will give some information. So in that case, first we have to write tables and figures. Through that, we realize what we actually want to present, or some result will be there. Through table or figure, we will guess some hypothesis or something will be there. And after that, we discuss. So first we find out some tables, figures, all these. Then we go through the how we collect this data or how we formulate these results or how we find these results in which method, in which model. So that's then we describe that methods, and whatever the result, then the results and discussion will be discussed, and then conclusion, and lastly is introduction. And after the final all these main body is created, then abstract and title. Title is should be some catchy and within certain limited word. It is the best 10 to 12 words for title of a paper or journal publication. It is the best way to produce. Otherwise, a lot of people are doing, there is some titles, then subtitle after colon or something. So there is a more than 20 words. That is not desirable for Scopus related journals. It is better if it is within 10 to 12 words, the title will be there. So you have to select how you select all these. There is also for each one, this title selection, abstract writing, introduction, conclusion, even result discussion, everything, how you discuss, how you present it, everything you have to take care. Otherwise, if any way, any mistake, or you are giving some say a lot of jargon words in such a way you are saying something, the people are not clearly understand, or even your whatever output is not clearly communicated with the your desired readers. So in that case, so I am saying better you first find out whatever your figure and tables, then you in backward method. That's why I'm saying write backwards. First you find out your core findings, then you come for writing, you go through backward direction. But a lot of people initially start their title, then abstract, then they go through that main text. That actually sometimes hamper their basic findings, whatever they finds or conclude does not reflected in the title. Title is the name. Just we are giving on, say, child's name. Through his name, his character, everything will be reflected. Same way in the paper. This one, I think, in language tense, some people also confuse. That's why I'm just giving this one, particularly present tense, past tense. When you will use all these present, past, or so particularly known fact, hypothesis, that will be in case of present tense. And if we have some conducted some experimental, suppose in case of our economic experimental data, then experiment has already conducted, so you have to go through describe that one in the past tense. Otherwise, if you also past tense use, if you describe some results of the other experimental results, then you also can use. So I think in this part of for your media people is not important. I think in other social science it is more important. And similarly for selection of title, I am not going through all this because I think you have gone through all these, how you write and title, how you write an abstract, and how you that embodied in introduction, because in the introduction section, within that introduction section, what is your research issue? What is your research question? That should be there first. That is the most important issue. Why you are doing this? why you are interested for this research, and your motivation. So research question and your motivation, that should be in your introduction section. And if any new method, that will be discussed in your methodology section. And in particularly in case now, I'm just here, I just mentioned that conclusion part, because a lot of people make some mistake that abstract and conclusion nearly same. So I'm saying that don't repeat the abstract. Abstract is totally different. And that conclusion is whatever you are finding, on the basis of your finding, your concluding observation, and related to that, you also suggest some possible policy, or even there is some limitations. If any limitations, you have to mention that limitations and future direction. So all these will be in your conclusion part. But in abstract part, I think I have not making any slide in that case now. I think in that abstract part, here I just mentioned, in abstract part, if you break that abstract part, first part, write for each one, one or two lines sentence. First part will be the objective of the study, the purpose of the study. Just you write that purpose of the study is one or two sentences. Second, data and methodology. If you have any methods or you have any data, then you mention in one or two sentences. Third part, there is the result, key result, the key findings. If any key findings, you provide it. Fourth one, is it a social relevance? Whatever you are finding, whatever your result, this research, is it socially relevant? Next, what is this relevance or policy relevance? Is it a local policy or social policy, by national or international level, this policy? So that means the policy makers, you are addressing some policy makers, those who have actually taken you this paper. And finally, if there is any limitations, also you mention in one sentence. So if you goes all these in terms of abstract, that will be better way to abstract. Here we just, I am saying that suppose you have not written that everything, all the sections or whatever I said, that from title to conclusion, including after that reference, acknowledgement, and if any supplementary material, whatever it is. So you have completed your paper, then you go for publication. So in case of publication, I am just, you see some obstacles or some you say, because we are talking in terms of review or editorial process, how your paper will be accepted. If you cross all these hurdles, then actually after that your paper will be accepted. So this is the hurdles, and there is a lot of people in lot of swords and instruments. They are ready to attack you as a researcher. So you have to ready for that. So if you beat all these stages, then ultimately you reach the goal. This is the basic submission model. You go through you see, first is the author. Author starts, submit a paper. Then basic requirement, whether it is meet or not. If it is yes, then it goes for assign a reviewer. If it is no, then at that basically at initial point, it will be rejected. If it is yes, then assignment reviewers goes to the reviewer, and reviewer give you some recommendation. And on that recommendation, the editor will collect the reviewer's recommendation, and then reviewer makes some decision. That may be rejection, or maybe revision, or accept. So there is a possible 3 outcomes, and if it is say revision, then the editor you can send to the author for revise the paper. Again, that will come through proper process, and ultimately, finally, if it is accepted, then it will be published. So this is the basic fundamental models for any journal publication. Is there any question related to this, up to this? Any question? Or up to this, before writing this paper?
Participants, if you have any question, please feel free to ask. You can also post your questions in the chat box if you have any doubts regarding what sir has talked about till now. Please say if you have a question, or you can raise up your hand and unmute yourself and ask the question.
Okay, otherwise I'll move. Okay.
Sir, we have a comment in the chat box. So one of our participants has said that, sir, thanks for all the inputs. I actually find the tense thing, past tense, present tense, etc., a bit confusing. So the name of the participant is Keshav Vivek. So he's saying that he's a little confused about the tense slide that he was showing, sir, that which tense to use, or which tense of grammar to use in
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
This language, I'm talking about, because a lot of papers, because I'm also in some journals review group, particularly in Scopus and Web Science journals. So I got a lot of papers. Paper is confused with this tense, because a lot of paper is rejected because of this sentence. Because I am talking about basically social science journals and some economics, pure economics science journal, LCBS science, all these. These papers, those who have actually, we have actually rejected the paper at DEX level because of their language. Sometimes same hypothesis may be mentioned once in present tense, sometimes they are using past tense within the same paper. They are confused. Sometimes they are, particularly say, for example, a hypothesis. Hypothesis never be in past tense, but they have written in past tense. So that type of, if any mistake, then paper will be rejected at the DEX of that. It does not go to that reviewer section for the reviewer. So here I am saying that if you are describing some fact, or you are describing some your hypothesis, then normally this type of facts or hypothesis will be in present tense. And if you write some in past tense, that means you are reporting. Suppose someone has done work, it is also you are reporting, then that will be also past. So this way, but if you suppose even you have done some work, experimental work or field work, if it is say 6 months ago, and you are reporting today, in that case, if it is a particularly say scientific experiment, then that will be your past tense related to your experiment. So you have to mention that experiment. Otherwise, if you mention the time, the 6 months before I have done this, then you can use, say, or you also basically past tense in your, suppose you are going through say literature review. In that case, literature review, from review, you are also getting some facts. So that facts will be in present tense. But normally, if you describe some others finding, that is the past tense. So this one, or if you suppose another way you can go through, suppose if you start from initial phase to last phase, through your once everything will be in say present tense. Then you no problem, you go through in one single way tense. Or if within that paper, if someone is writing in some part is present tense, some part is past tense, and there is a mixing, then there will be some confusion. Language, I think it is basically this part is problem in our Asian countries or African. I think Africa is better in terms of at least this part. So far I gone through Asian problem in terms of mixing sentence. Okay. Review process also there is I think all these you have gone through maybe. Sometimes in the review case, suppose you have submitted one paper in one journal, and then the journal review and give some comments, say for minor revision, major revision, like this way, and given some comments. If you follow that, that will improve. Actually, the editor is actually try to, editor or reviewer, they actually help you to improve your paper, your article in better way. And sometimes you are getting some review in terms of say minor revision or major revision like this. Suppose some minor revision, so you think that paper will be accepted. It does not guarantee that acceptance after revision, because if your revision is not to the point, or whatever they have comments, if you are not addressed properly, then even after revision, paper may be rejected. This one is actually, I'm just giving you some, whether it is published or and Paris. This is this global, this recent world, throughout this competition, everything is in scientific world particularly. You have to publish. Otherwise, your career as a scientific officer or scientist or any academician, say junior academics, say faculty members, who will be promoted, he or she will be promoted to senior level only based on his performance. So performance in terms of a lot of things is in academics, but the one important performance is there is your research output. So research output related publications, here we are talking everything in related to your research output. And that research output, whatever you have done, that should be in proper way, which can accumulate your API score for your promotions, or you reach the higher ladder. And particularly here, the most important thing is the ethical standard. Ethics, research ethics is important issue. So ethics related to this particular scientific article, scientific paper, it is not only in our country, it is globally is accepted. So ethics is in our country, we have actually considered it in later phase, but it is actually in a long time it is coming out. Now, if anyone is say does not follow the ethics, what happens? Say, for example, see this one. This is the Science Direct, and there is a their code, everything is given, and Elsevier Science. You see there is some article and name of the authors. Lot of issue is there, but this article is actually published article in somewhere else. So that is also tracked. This is the problem. If anyway, anyhow, is something, why I'm talking this one? The ethics is I'm writing. Suppose you are writing in a paper, there is one, you are conducting research for each and every state. You have to follow certain research ethics. And this, if you done, suppose someone is in a hurry for publication, same article, they have given in 1 or 2 journals. Don't do that. You submit your article in 1 journal, and if you review, then you answer their review. After review, you again resubmit it if it is required. Don't do that. Suppose review report is not coming, is delaying, so you have submitted in another journal. That will actually finish your career. You don't know, but others, editors or reviewer, they are actually getting it. How they will get or not, because this is the technology age, so the people knows how they get it. So this is one result. So suppose the paper has already accepted in 1 journal, you have submitted to another journal, a lot of issues is there. So identically, they have identified that there is some identical journal, identical writing in the content of the paper is the same. They are producing 2 different journals. So then you have blacklisted. This is the plagiarism. Hope you understand this one. Okay, one question is, I think Bindu Sans has
Yes,
written,
sir.
wanted to understand the underlying reason why the reviewing committee takes more than 3 months to give us the feedback on whether our paper will be published or not. Very good question. This depends on that 3 months, some case journals, it takes 3 years. This is because it depends on why it takes more time. The reason is 3 months is not is the mandatory 3 months. It even some journal gives you within 3 weeks. They will give the report whether it will be published or not. Even maybe some paid journal, they will give you within 3 days whether it will be published or not. If it is paid already, they will publish within 3 days, not 3 months or 3 years. Maximum, I'm just saying this case, say 3 years, if it is take some scientific journals, they take time for whatever you have using some data or experiment or something, you are saying some result, new result. That result is verified in a other, say, reviewer or some institute according to your method. Because your method is right or wrong, that will be justified. In another field or another location. So in that case, takes time is taking more. Okay. So in this case, so better say in terms of practically, how you actually achieve all these. So if it is a in Science Direct or any other journals, then you find out what is the hot topic today, and you focus on that. You have to identify that topic, particularly in terms of hot topic. If it is a media, obviously you know which is the breaking news. Say electronics media, they will give in terms of breaking news in minutes, in seconds. Similar way, even in scientific research article in paper, they are also required some most important recent issues is there. Say scientific issue, social issue, development issue, economic issue, whatever it is, say it should be relevant topic in recent one. Then your possibilities of probability of acceptance will be high. Similarly, you find the trend. Actually, how you find it, suppose in Science Direct, if you see top 25 Science Direct articles, then you will actually realize what is the hot topics is going on in research. Similarly, you find out some trends in your subject area. Then you also you can search journal-wise, author-wise, publication. So per year. So then we need some Scopus. Scopus, how you search all these? Scopus, you provide all the information as you want. As per your requirement, Scopus will provide at least some title, abstract, keywords. Through all these keywords or their title, you actually realize what is the trend of that subject. and in which journal is focusing in what type of articles. If you want to describe that, then you can find out that also. So this part is actually, now I am moving towards that evaluation part, that how the journal, your selection of the journal, selection of the first, your selection of the topics, selection of the journal, and which journal you select, what is their impact factor, and subject impact factor within subject specific factor, among country ranking or journal ranking. Similarly, country can be ranked, university, institute will be ranked accordingly. So journal analyzer is in that case. And through this, actually, individual researchers also ranked according to their H index. Similarly, find out more journals and how will this. I have just given you some LCS science related some journals, and if you find out more about the journal, any journal, then who is the editor, and there is also written some guideline for authors how to write the paper for that journal, and future articles related to all this will be more relevant if you go through step by step. Next, I am saying that because before again I will come all these part, and particularly impact factor part I will come later again. But in the meantime, I'm saying this one.
Sir, there is a question in the chat box. Can we take that question?
Hello?
Yes, sir. Sir, there is a question in the chat box. Can we take that question now?
Okay.
Sir, there is a question where it is written that very often we cite certain works, but just confine ourselves to article, conference proceedings, journals, dates, etc., but forget to mention the DOI. Does this impact reviewers? As in, like, will they see it as an unethical practice?
Okay.
We forget to mention DOI.
Very good questions. Okay. So first of all, whether we just confine ourselves to the article, conference proceedings, journals, date, etc. Okay. So I will say first, if you say, suppose you want to find out what is the hot topics or the trend of the subject, then you go through all these. First, articles means whether these articles will come from journals or conference proceedings. So you go through journals or conference. If you go in any conference, then you will find a lot of papers. So automatically you identify what type of, even maybe some conference specific focus, some theme related. So in that case, only theme related you will get some paper. But in journal, I suggest you first think is the article in journals. Then if you are not getting all from your articles in journal, then you go for conference and conference proceedings. Sometimes there is a conference, but that conference article is not provided in terms of conference proceedings. There is some conference proceedings in that Elsevier Science Journal. They have something, this type of conference proceedings. Few international company, they provide it. And that is obviously in the good quality, that will be important for you. I think that will be easy for you also. And that, but forget DOI. Okay. Digital objective identifiers, yeah, maybe you are not getting this one. If it is not DOI, digital objective identifier, from one journal, then that journal is dubious. That is not good journal. To avoid it. If any article you are taking from journal and that journal do not provide DUI, then you reject that article. Okay, because DUI is important. Digital objective identifier. This is the authentication of that article, and it is globally visible. And next question is that, does this impact reviewer? Does this means which one? Is it doing this digital objective identifier? This one?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The participant is asking if the participant has forgotten to mention DOI. If he has not given DOI in the reference, does that affect the reviewer? Will that reviewer think that there is
okay,
a
okay. No. That is not the issue. But because you have in reference style, if it is that journal requires that DUI is mandatory, then you have to provide. Otherwise, not necessary. DUI in your reference list is not mandatory DUI. You want to know that one only, no? In your reference. Okay, okay. This DUI is not provided in your reference. That does not mean it is unethical. But any article you are getting from one, suppose journal, which has no DUI, then you have put it into your reference list. That is not unacceptable. Then reviewer, if you see that article is improper, that will, bad impression will be on the reviewer. So you have to select that reference list, that each and every, whatever you have provided in list, in article, in reference, that should have DUI. Without DUI, you don't provide that article in the reference list. Clear?
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. 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 Next, we move how you make your paper is worthy, or your paper is worthless if no one reads or use or cite it. Ultimately, you're interested to the impact. Why we are talking about impact? All this is because that base is whether your paper is worthily or what valuable for the readers or society as a whole, or no one is interested. If no one is reading, no one is, that means no one is citing also in their research. So that has no impact truly. Better, so in this case, actually, basically you write some article or paper, even book, at least you have targeted some readers, section of the readers of the society. At least some of them will read it. Then as a author, as a researcher, there is some there is some satisfaction. Someone has read it, and after reading, he can criticize it. He can further reproduce something new results from your article. So there is some progress on the research. So that impacts, creates some impact. So that is the requirement of the society. So whatever is research today, your research, today's your research is based on yesterday. So last year's, whatever the output is coming, this year you produce something additional. Next year we will also produce some more new things on the based of all these past performance. So that is the judgment whether paper is reading or using this paper for other research or not. That will be reflected in your citation of the individual paper. Similarly, individual authors' impact also created through that citation. And whoever that author belongs to some institution, some university, college, whatever it is. So that institution will also rank according to that citation. Similarly, that institution or university, whatever it is also belongs to some nation, that country will be ranked. So throughout the world, which country in which rank according to this research, that rank is also important. So everybody, that's why government provides a lot of fund for research. Say ICSR, UGC, or DST, lot of even through ministry, lot of fund is available for your research. Ultimately, why they are providing that fund? Even some NGO, trust body, they are also providing fund for research. Some institution, they are also providing. Lot of people is involved with this. Even government is there. Apart from government, there is a lot of other people also providing some funds. So national level or even international level. So everybody try to that use the fund and do some research, and that research should create some impact. Because those who are providing fund, their basic requirement is you have to publish some article, or you have to publish some books, or you have to conduct some workshop or seminar or conference. Something is there. That means all these are dissemination. Whatever your output through your research, you have conducted some research work, and the basis of your research work, there is some outcome. So that outcome should be communicated to the society, community, through different channels. Maybe in 1-day seminar, 2-day seminar, or it may be workshop, or it may be conference, say university level, national conference, or international conference, whatever it is. So through all these channels, you actually disseminate your output. And there is also some discussion in all these peer groups. They will some discuss, give some feedback, comments, lot of issues. So ultimately improve your writing on the articles on the paper. This conference, all these will help you. If it is, even it is, there is some comments, suggestion, how to improve your paper or article. After that, you rewrite whatever your initial draft, then you rewrite again, incorporating all comments, suggestion, then your paper or article will be better compared to your initial draft. Then finally, you submit for any journal. So that will also consider as a publication, or you can consider for if it is a lot of articles, concerning one, say, focusing on one theme, then you can produce one book. So there is also publishers. So through this, either in journal publications or in book publications, you can publish your article or papers or your whatever your research outcome. Then each and every items in the section, you have to mention from where you have get this fund. You have to acknowledge, because those who are providing your fund, because the ranking, all this impact factor will also reflect in that institutional level, national level, university level, or even individual authors level, and the country will be as a whole. Where's the stand of the country as a scientific outcomes research? That will be through assessment of that impact valuation. So before you are going to that final submission, you have to think whether your paper is worthy or not. And that is judged through this impact part. Then we consider, we consider whether it is prestigious journal or not. According to this impact factor, we will consider that journal is prestigious if high impact factor, or if it is low impact factor journal. Accordingly, you can rank the journal following the impact factor. I will come to this part. This impact factor, basically you are measuring some citation divided by articles published in previous 2 years. That is the basic idea. And there is also the distribution part. This, I think, okay. Up to this, is there any other question? I think in chat there is one. Doubt clears. Oh, okay. Is there any other any comments or any question?
Dear participants, please feel free to ask questions if you have any. So till the participants start asking their questions, I have one question that I wanted to ask you. So if you allow, can I ask?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, sir. So I had a question that sometimes when we search journals on Scopus, we see that a journal is there for that year, but the next year the journal gets delisted. So how can we understand that if that journal is a good journal or a bad journal, or if it is going to be delisted in the next year? Is there any way that we can identify that?
Yeah, that is a important. Yeah, this is a very good, relevant question actually. A lot of journals, suppose some journal, say last 20 years published by, say, for example, Elsevier Science. And then people, and it has some impact factor, very good impact factor. And researchers don't know, suppose next year, suppose, for example, this same journal is now transferred from Elsevier to, say, for example, Rutledge or Francis Taylor's, like this, some other publishers. Or maybe sometimes some journal, actually the editor is removed or editor is retired. After, because during that editor, that journal impact factor is very high. After that, some new editor is coming, he is not competent in that level. So in that case, that impact, it does not create much. Even quality of paper, maybe he is not receiving, because a lot of journal, whether it is prestigious or not, that depends on who is the author, who are in the editorial board. So this editorial board and the editor, particularly editor, and not only even that man, suppose editor is a simple individual or scientist. Suppose he is in MIT, then there is a lot of quality paper is coming.
Yes.
Suppose same author is moving towards, suppose in European country, or suppose in Britain in one university. Suppose. So MIT from USA to move to, say, UK, but suppose in, say, for example, Reading University, or say even in Oxford University. Say, for example, for my subject related, I'm talking about, say, in economics. One professor, he is the editor, is initially he was a MIT, Chicago, Boston, like this, in top ranking institute, in 5 top institute in USA. Now some authors or editor is shifted to, say, Britain, but it's not good quality institute. Or even within America, say MIT professors shifted to, say, for example, say, New York University. Then in this institutional impact is also there. So when you select the journal, who is the editor and which institute, that editor belongs to some institute. That means
Yes.
the editorial board performance is in that case.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Even
I
in
did
some
not know
cases,
this.
because I know that suppose in our senior, our ISI fellow, that he was in UK initially. He was in editor in one journal and even editorial group. But when he moved to USA, that same journal, he gets lot of quality papers. So
Okay.
same editor only change the institute, change the country. Similarly, his brother, he was in USA, and he also shifted one university to another university within USA. There is also some change. So in
Thank you
this
so much,
case,
sir.
this type of issues is there.
Thank you. So there is another question that I have received on WhatsApp from one of my colleagues, Swati ma'am. She is also an assistant professor in our university. So she has a question that if a paper is published in a special issue of a journal, will it be accepted as UGC care? Like, say, for example, sir, if that journal is UGC care listed, but the article is published in a special issue. So can that article be called as a UGC care publication? This is what ma'am is asking.
Okay, just again, I will just clarify it. Suppose that journal is UGC care list, and that journal, there is some regular issue, another is added with some special issue.
Yes, sir.
Special issue focusing on special subject, my topic or subject.
Yes,
So
sir.
in that case, that is slightly narrow down compared to the regular articles, because that is the specific subtopic focusing on that special issue. That's why compared to maybe journals average impact factor, whatever it is, then special issue related maybe more or less sometimes, not exactly matching that same type of figure. It can vary, and normally it will be less.
Okay, sir. Thank you. And sir, I have one more question.
Another your earlier question related, I am just giving you one example.
Yes.
what I have just a specific example. I think you have heard about Moitris Ghatak in economics.
Yes, sir.
So Moitris Ghatak is now in London School of Economics. And in this Moitris Ghatak, when he was in Chicago, then he has actually selected for editorial board and even in Elsevier Science, that Journal of Economic Development, he was the editor. And now he is in London School of Economics. He shifted. After that, he is no more in a high level, that type of journal editor group. He is the editorial board, but he is not the editor. Because that same Elsevier Science, same journal, same person, but he has changed. He is no more that in chief editor. There is due to institutional factor, because institutional has some there is some ethics. They are also contacting that journals. They have some restriction. Suppose American Institute University, they are more liberal compared to. I'm just giving you comparison UK and USA. UK is more restrictive and more commercial oriented. হ্যাঁ, তুমি আর কিছু বলছিলে? হ্যালো?
না না স্যার, আমি শুনছি স্যার যেটা আপনি বলছেন।
ওকে, ওকে। Then this part, next part, I think everybody can take some one chat box. I think there's wait someone. Okay, okay. So I think 5 minutes some break.
Yes, sir. We can take a break of 10 minutes and then we can again join back.
Okay,
So,
okay, okay.
okay. So participants, we are taking a break of 10 minutes. So it's 11:53. So we will meet at around 5 minutes past 12. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank Hello.
So we are back after the small break. So if you want, we can start the session once again.
Okay, okay. So I think next part I will go through for basically that publication ethics. Particularly publication impact, data matrix, this part. Okay. Yeah. Is it visible?
Yes, sir. Your screen is visible.
Oh. Okay. Again, we will start with this part. This is more actually focused on today's your lessons. I think you are interested for particularly the research data matrix, publication and impact factors. This part is actually, I think I will just go through all these. Basically, the research phase and this dissemination. Next is that UGC care listed how it is going on or what is the construction of this UGC care, impact factor, calculation, H index, all these we will go through. This part I think you have already known, all you have discussed all these most of these cases, but I think again I am just suggesting that selection of your right medium for publication. It is most important part for the selection. Before writing any paper article, use if you go through first, you identify your medium, publication medium, right way. That will be your writing will be easy, and you also create some impact accordingly if you select proper medium, proper journal, and particularly peer-reviewed journal. And this journal is selection, a lot of issues, the scope of journal, match your research, publishing article similar nature or not, peer review process, all these relevant audience, whatever is already discussed in earlier part. Now I am coming to this actually journal selection criteria. How you select one journal. So do the aims and scope of the journal match those of the research work? So first you select, if any journal, then you check aims and objectives, the scope of the journal. That is the most important one, because a lot of people, especially that young faculty members or junior scholars, they don't follow the scope of the journal or their aims of the journal. without observing this, they're sending their papers. That is the wrong. So I think so better you select, when you select that journal, you go through their aims and objectives of the journal, and which is that is your work is identified or not. So that will be easy way for your selection. Similarly, that selected journal, you select some articles, you find some articles in that journal, and that your article is very much similar to their journal or not, in terms of nature, in terms of quality, quantity, even in terms of logical flow, everything, how they have written, because of published article, you can go through properly that way. Someone in chat. This one question was there, that additional kindly suggests journals which accept book reviews for publication. This one is one, I think, additional question or Dinda.
Yes, sir. And the participant is also asked that if participating in paid international conferences which ensure publication in high quality journals a good idea, how do we check the authenticity of international conferences? This is also something that she's asking.
Yeah. Okay, I think again I will come to this part, and then we'll answer this. Okay. So before I'm just this part is in impact creation and your acceptance and success. So this part is basically you select some journal and focus. First focus will be their aims and objectives, or aims and scope of the journal. Then you identify similar nature, articles nature or quality. Then you check the submission requirement. Journal submission requirement varies from journal to journal. So you have to go through their requirements, and accordingly you make some ready of that requirements, and then automatically you can upload all these. And then who are the audience of that journal, you are automatically identify that. And most important, how you select that journal, even in terms of rank and in terms of impact factor. So that will be journal. Suppose you have some article you have written, but that article in which journal you publish, you search according to impact factor and rank, and that then it may not matching actual your nature of the paper, or it does not match the aims and scope of that journal. Then you have to redefine, or in advanced way you have to search. So searching, there will be not necessarily in one shot you are getting all the journal as per your requirement, as per your articles. So may not be there. So then you have to search, again and again, using more advanced technique, using say at least Google Advanced or Scopus. A lot of technique is there. Through that way you can search. So that is the next part. But initial part, you select the journal using the criteria, basically their aims and objects, nature of the articles in the previously published, requirement of the submission, or who are the audience, and their impact factor or rank of the journal within the subject group. And journal, obviously, whether it is peer review process or not, that will be there definitely. And is there any journal, whether it is in marked in a red way, some because some wrongdoing, some journal is identified. Just like, say, for example, there is a lot of university in India, in different states and territory, and there is some universities are marked in UGC list, that is the blacklisted university. Have you heard about that blacklisted university? Hope so, you know that one. That means they are do not following maybe UGC rules and regulations, they will be blacklisted. Similarly, if the journalist does not follow some rules or regulations in terms of all these criteria, then that journal will be red listed. Or maybe one specific, suppose in earlier session you are talking about that your say special issue, one journal, some special issue. Similarly, some journal is also some special issues, maybe red flags. That means editor of the journal is given someone for a special issue, they are editing that part, but that issues may not fulfill all the requirements, all the qualities in terms of earlier quality through which he creates some impact or rank, then that issues may be created in terms of red flag journal. There will be some marking that is for special issue, but it is a very rare cases. And all the journals, now it's most important why we are talking about ethics in research, because each and every journal, reputed journal, those who have impact factor and high quality journal, rank journal, they have some committee on publication ethics, which is in short we say COPE, COPE. So Committee on Publication Ethics. If in any journal, then you select that journal. Suppose you have, in terms of say impact factor, rank is very good today, and there is no committee on publication ethics, I suggest avoid that journal. Even if its impact factor today is very high, without such committee, if they have no committee on publication ethics, then you avoid that type of journal. Because this committee on publication ethics, if you have any journal this committee has, then they follow automatically their impact factor. Today, just earlier session, you are also raising that question that impact or changes or editorial changes. I am just, you have responded in that line. Because of this one, if that committee on public ethics is there, they will maintain, even if the editor is changes, then in that case, editor is not much significant if this committee is there. So this part is most important part. And if all these above is following any journal, automatically it will be accepted in our UGC CAL listed journal. So better we follow the UGC CAL listed journal for publication. Then that journal follow all these. But if it is UGC CAL listed journal, it does not mean impact factor is high. UGC care listed journal, it does not mean the rank of that journal is very high. Why I am saying this? Because within the UGC care listed journal, there is some, again, there is some groups of groups. I'll come. So selection, journal selection, this criteria is clear?
Yes, sir. It is clear.
Okay. Now I am coming to that UGC care listed journal. The full form of care is the Consortium for Academic Research and Ethics. That headline, the Consortium for Academic Research and Ethics, in short we say CARE. And UGC follow this, so that's why UGC CARE is done. We are talking about UGC CARE listed journal, means there is some consortium for academic research and ethics, which is set up by that UGC. That's why we are talking about UGC CARE list journal. And this UGC, why UGC has set up this CARE? Basic focus is to promote quality research in India. Publication that substandard journal or better that actually damage that long-term academic career, all these. So better to you publish as a young scholar, young faculties. They will actually lead in long run in academic career. So better to initially avoid some this dubious substandard journal. That's why UGC emphasized that academic research and ethics and formulate that consortium, that CARE. Because a lot of paper in each year, there is more than millions paper is published every year, either published in journal form or published in conference proceedings, book, edited book. Lot of channel is there for their publication. But articles are published, research article, percentage of research article published is very poor quality journal. And that's why it's actually creates some adverse impact, but it creates some negative image or bad image in international level in academics. That's why UGC has taken some steps to improve the quality of research and safeguard the publication ethics. And to safeguard this quality researcher and their publications, so UGC has established, that's why, Consortium for Academic and Research Ethics. And they provide the list of quality journals. And the UGC journal, actually, UGC set up some cell for analyzing these journals. And this cell is actually at headquarters is in Pune. The Pune, that is the national headquarters for the journal analysis, UGC journal analysis. And there is some regional also university, that CARE universities, Hyderabad, New Delhi, Vadodara and Tejpur in Assam. So there is India is divided in 4 regions. That's why these care universities at regional level, Hyderabad, Delhi, Vadodara and Tejpur. Pune is the headquarters. And UGC care that reference list journals for all disciplines. They have produced for all the disciplines, science, arts, engineering, medicine, social science, commerce, management, everything in that UGC care list. And there is a number of journals, initially more than say 40,000, more than 45,000 journals was there. And regularly there is some, analysis and review through process. Recently it is all about around 25,000 to 26,000 or more number of journal in UGC care listed. And this UGC care listed journals is a broad domain. Within this, there is Scopus Index Journal, Web Science Index Journal, everything is also there. There is also Arts and Humanities Index Journal, Science Citation Related Index Journal, Social Science, all these are in this UGC care listed journal. I think this objective of this basically UGC has set up that promote quality of research. So faculty or anyone, those who are involved in academics for creating credible research, that research should be credible, and promote academic and research integrity. That one is the most important, research integrity as the public ethics, publication ethics. And this objective to set up this care is actually to promote high quality publication in reputed journals that will help achieving the higher global ranks, overall improvement of the quality of research and education. Because without research, education level will not improve. And to develop an approach or methodology for identification of good quality of journal, to prevent publication in dubious or substandard journals that actually tarnish the image. So to avoid that journal, that's why UGC care list set up and create and maintain the care reference list quality journal for various academics evaluation. This career reference list of quality journals, they maintain it, created and maintain this list. Who are the members of this care? There's a lot of institute, research institute, that is, here is I'm giving you the list. Indian Council of Social Science Research, ICSSR. Indian Council of Philosophical Research, ICPR. Indian Council of Historical Research, ICHR. Indian Institute of Advanced Study, IIAS. Central Institute for Indian Language, CIIL. Indian Council for Cultural Relations, ICCR. Indira Gandhi National Center for Arts, Central Hindi Sansthan, राष्ट्रीय संस्कृत संस्थान, National Council for Promotion for Urdu Language, Sahitya Academy, Lalit Kala Academy, National Council for Education Training and Research, NCERT, All India Council for Teachers Education, AICTE, Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR, Indian Council for Medical Research, ICMR, Indian Council of Agricultural Research, ICAR, Central Council for Indian Medicine, National Academy of Engineering, National Academy of Science, National Science Academy. All these list is there. And in the last 25th on what I'm saying, say Jawaharlal Nehru, now there are some universities also listed in Association of Indian Universities. Jawaharlal Nehru, JNU, Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi, University of Hyderabad, MS University of Baroda, Tezpur University, Assam. So these Tezpur, University of Baroda, University of Hyderabad, or JNU, all these are regional level. They are actually analyzing these journals, which will be incorporated in care listed or not. And their central is that Pune. And who will maintain all these in the website? I think in FlevNet, you know this, that is in Gujarat, in Gandhinagar. And the headquarter, all these in the analysis cell, headquarter is that Pune University, which is actually known as Savitribai Phule Pune University. That is UGC cell is there. This is the 30 main institute, is the member of care. They actually created that list of the care listed journal. Next, I am coming this UGC care listed journal. There is actually group, 4 groups. Group A. Group A is basically research journal from all disciplines. It is Scopus or Web Science, which is internationally, it is actually accepted. So, such journal is included. If it is Scopus or Web Science, if any journal, then that is incorporated in UGC care listed, and that is the top group listed A, group A. These journals, no need to analyze. Actually, within India, this UGC cell, they directly accepted if any article published in Scopus or Web Science, then UGC, that journal is directly under the UGC care list. No need to analyze that journal's impact or other things. So, top group journal is the Scopus or Web Science journal. Next, group B. This journal is actually list provided by the analysis of protocol analysis. If some journal follow all the international, that Scopus, Web Science related journals, some international protocols, journal protocols, if follow, they will come under the group B. And group C, the journals from all disciplines, it is recommended by UGC care council members. So all 30 council members, if recommended any journal, that will come under the group C. This will be group C, that means council member will suggest, or even maybe that council related, they have some their own journal or anything, if they follow protocols, and members obviously recommended. So on the basis of recommendation, council members recommendation journal, that will be in group C. And group D, this is the last one, the fourth one. This is actually submitted by UGC Care University. If they follow some protocols or obviously standard protocols, then this group D, they will come under the UGC Care list. Is it clear? This one is the most important part. Here is that group D related, particularly lot of issue is there. Some journal is today in the care list, next year may not be in the care list, because they fail to follow the protocol. Suppose some university, they have their own journal. If they fail to follow the protocols properly, then UGC care list, care cell actually delisted that journal. So C and D, these two actually variable in terms of the in the list. A in the A group A journals more consistent. B is comparative to A is less. C is more less than B, and D is obviously. So least is the D. So according to their all these criteria, these journal are selected, and it is in terms of UGC list. If any question related to this one is the most critical part. I think you know the UGC care listed journal, but who is actually making this list, you don't know. I think now you understand. Who will create this journal? Hello? Can we contact this regional center of care for journal verification? Like I am in Hyderabad. No. There is I think everything will come under that UGC list. UGC, they have some website, UGC website, they will provide. But in that Hyderabad University, they are in that southern region. Hyderabad University will collect the information related to the journal, related to their publications, whether they follow all these or not. Accordingly, whatever their analysis, they will send it to the central, that is the Pune, and Pune will provide all these ultimately to the UGC. So final decision will take that UGC in terms of UGC website. They will put it or not. But you individually, I think individually you can't take. I think they will not provide you all this information, may not. But if you are personal relation or some personal way, you know someone, maybe we provide that one. I think you can take some information in that way, but basically it will come through UGC. Okay. Okay, next, I think this UGC related journal grouping is clear to you. If any confusion, okay, you can ask me. Next, we'll actually go through for impact assessment. I think before impact assessment, if possible, okay, I will show you that some journal list. I think Ipsita, is it visible?
Sir, it's showing journal impact factor, the PPT that you were showing us.
Yeah.
We can see that on the screen.
Okay, I'll just make it something. This is 1047 page. So you understand the serial number in that first column, serial number,
Sir,
journal number, and title, who is
sir,
the
sorry to
publishing, their
interrupt you.
ISSN number, or if it is online publication, EISSN number.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you, but I think that screen is not visible. Only the PowerPoint presentation is visible.
Oh, this is the.
So you can
PDF.
stop the screen sharing and do this again so that we can see the other screen that you are sharing.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, I think, okay, now it will come. Now it is coming?
Yes, sir. It is visible.
Yeah. So this one is more than 1000 page list of journals approved by UGC. And there is all these related. So, you know, here in the first column is the serial number, it is given. And the journal number, second column, title of the journal in the third column, then publishers, then ISSN number and EISSN number. You see, some journals have both ISSN number and EISS number. That means they are in both media, means print media and electronics media, both way they are available. So that's why they have two number. In some cases, one and other is missing. That means they have maybe, suppose in that fourth one, you see, there is only EISSN number, but there is no ISSN. That means only in electronics, that fourth one. Similarly, fifth one is only ISSN. No, that last column is the number is missing. So like this way. There is a lot of papers or journal. You check first this listed journal, if any, then you identify this type of whether they have ISSN number or EISSN number or this. This is the list of the journal. Just I am giving you just an example for this case. Similarly, if it is a in terms of variation, how it is varies or initially top journals, then I will say you in terms of say you see in terms of Bengali, the last one you see nearly 25,000 onward all these journals. Only you see the written in Bengali or in last some Hindi or some language, I don't know. But here is the nothing is written in right side, whether it is the publishers or their ISSN number, IESN number, all these. So these are, doubtful sometimes, or sometimes vary. Today in published list, tomorrow may not be in published list, in the list. So they will be delisted, if any. But you see in Bengali, there is some journal is in their number, ISSS number. So there is all these are journals which are regional level journals or university level journals. So that's why it is actually accommodated in D group of that journal, a UGC care listed journal. I'm just showing all these. I think different language. If it is in English, no problem. But there is some other language, then there is a problem. All these are in English. Now I'm stopping this one. Okay. For someone is waiting in chat. Okay, whether it is latest or not, I think you check in your website, UGC website. There is a care list journal, and they modify some quarterly, because I can't say this is the latest, because June 30 has crossed. So from July, 1st July onward, there may be new list. But this one is before July. That's why I can't say this one is the latest. Okay.
Thank you for answering, sir.
So now I stop this journals list. Now we are talking about that journal impact factor. Sometimes we also call it a simple impact factor. Actually, it is journal impact factor. So JIF, sometimes it is written. Basically, that yearly mean number of citation of an article or articles in published that last 2 years journal, particularly given in journal, that will be calculated. I will show the mathematical formula also. Simple way. Or frequency, that journal level matrix, it is actually basically frequency, number of journal, relative importance in that journal within its field, and higher impact, whether the journals which has higher impact factor value are given the status of the journal. And university basically or institute funding for that type of promotion or research proposal where that impact factor is more. So now I'm going to give you is how the calculate that impact factor. Basically, you see your numerator and denominator. See, citation suffix y means citation in one particular year divided by publications. There is also suffix y minus 1 plus publication y minus 2. That means publication in last 2 years, last year and previous years. That's why y t we can also write it t minus 1 and t minus 2. This is a simple mathematical way we have to express. This one is also giving you an example. I think I'm just giving this one. Say, for example, the Nature is one publication outlet, and its impact factor is 41.577 in 2017. This one I have taken from that journal directly, and this impact factor of 2017 is calculated citation in 2017 divided by number of publications in 2016 and 2015. Now, citation in 2017, this Nature journal is cited 74,090. An article published in Nature in 2016 was 880. And 2015, it was 902. So outcome result is, if you divided by 74,090 divided by this 1,782, if you divide that, then result is 41.577. This is on an average. If one paper is published in 2015 or in 16, it roughly cited 41.57, so around about 42 citation in 2017. This 2017, this actually you are reported this 2017 impact factor in 2018. So 2008, actually this impact factor of 2017 is reported in 2018, because current year, suppose in 2017 is in between, before December, you can't calculate. So after December 2017, you will get only the number of citations. Then you can calculate. So automatically it will be in 2018. So citation report of 17 will be reported in 2018. Clear? This one example, using that example, I am just showing this calculation. Similar way, we can go through some graph, some way in terms of journals, reference, all these. Is it clear?
Yes, sir, it is clear.
Any problem, anyone?
Dear participants, if you had any problem, then please kindly share. Okay, so the participants are sharing that. Yeah, no, sir.
Okay.
Clear, sir.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So this one is any type, because I am giving you here is a high quality journal Nature. You know all these. So its impact factor obviously very high. Similarly, suppose some journal has quality, say not in the very high, but it may be low. Say, for example, if any, I'm just taking this one. This is for just your clarity. In terms of, say, simple factor, impact factor analysis, you are actually making some average. Say, here is A is the number of times article published in 2006 and 2007, were cited in index journal during 2008. And B is the citation item, and obviously the impact factor A by B. Here is that 600 citation divided by 150 articles, so it is the impact factor is 2. So if you know this one, suppose I am considering this one, 2, impact factor is 2. So on an average impact factor 2, I think you see the graph. It starts from 0, then 1, 2, 3, like this way up to 20. So year, time after publication, it is on horizontal axis, or citation in the vertical axis. So you see, if I am talking in terms of, say, statistical distribution of that impact factor over time for one particular, say, article or paper. So it will be distributed, suppose like a normal distribution, but it is truly not normal. It is some, a high peak in initial, say, 5 to 6 years, is covers a 50% citation, and beyond 6 years, then citation declines. Say, you see, there's gradually a long tail, say 10 years, after 10 years to 12 years, 16 years, 20 years, it's gradually falling. And if it is, whatever is the citation, if you go through in terms of analysis, say 50% of total citation of that particular article is within 6 years. This citation is actually half-life. This 50% is within that 5 years or 6 years. After that, their citation rate is declining. 50%, you see, first 6 years, 50%, then next 14 years, remaining 50%. So distribution is long but small. Day by day, or year after year, it is reducing. And that mean is here is because we have considered that mean value is 2. Here is the 2. So that mean value is here is the vertical line. You see the impact factor given that in the line 2. And this way that journal, because who are actually this care UGC care cell, they will actually analyze all these statistical part. Not only they, but we are also calculating in terms of academic interest, because there is also some methods, some technique is also used for all these type of calculation or distribution, identify the distribution. All these issues, if anyone is interested, then we can use this. Because this analysis is important. We are talking about in terms of, suppose in our academic part, same academics will be used in that business world, because they are also hiring that individuals, scientists or researcher or academicians according to their credibility. And that credibility measures in terms of lot of dimension is there. But one important dimension is there. If it is, say, academician, how much he creates the impact in the society. or in the economy, or in their subject, or in their fellow members, or student, whatever it is. So accordingly, they can segregate or segment all these. So this is one. Another thing is important in this part. I just show you this case. So number of paper, number of citations. Here is also two type of distribution is given. One is close one impact factor, that is 3.1. Slightly yellowish or yellow brownish color. It's a below one, small one. Her peak, then it is nearly zero. After 10 years, no citation. But another one is that blue, that Nature journal. Here is I'm considering that Nature journal. That is the impact factor is 38.1. This is another impact factor. But I have shown you that is the 41, and this one is the 38. Whatever it is, it year to year vary maybe, but around 40 that impact factor of the Nature. It is also peak. But after you see 38 impact factor, so after 38 or around 40 onward, it gradually falls. But suddenly, after 100 years, a few citation, highly cited papers, Nature. That means after 100 years, this Nature journal publications citation is increased suddenly. Say, for example, in our economics, in Great Depression in 1929, related lot of articles published in that time. Again, when that 2008-9, there is some crisis, economic crisis, obviously, new generation also started to study what happens in 100 years ago. So that's why citation suddenly increased. Though over time we are observing that is declining, but suddenly, nearly 100 years, then there is some sudden jump. Because of some, suppose you can think in terms of, say, for example, I don't know, I have not studied this one, is that COVID related issue. Because a lot of people, when COVID started, lot of people are also thinking 100 years back, what happens? There is also some disease. In colonial era, there is also a lot of publications. A lot of people try to study it. That 1920, 21, in that period, means 100 years back, there is also some disease. You know what disease I am talking? Anyone? Yes, Spanish flu. Exactly. Thank you. Spanish flu. That's why when 100 years back, back, they were current study, you are also study the nature of that Spanish flu. And their, spread, their morbidity, their impact, whatever it is. So in that period, in that time, some researcher has done something, whatever it is. So you try to get some idea, or you study that. So if you do some research work, automatically that type of paper will be cited. So in that case, this type of sudden jump will be there after some long time. There is a possibility. So that means it is relevant even in after 100 years. Next, I am just showing you this related to this H index. H index is actually Hertz index. It is actually developed by Hertz. That's why its name is given his initial name, H index. H index actually author level matrix, that author has produced or published, or productivity. It is actually true in the sense in productivity measurement of any author. They have some citation impact of their publications, and that is this is also one way we can say there is some correlation, their success indicators. And most papers cited and that number of citation, if we rank all the papers according to their citation, then we identify, suppose someone has papers, say 100 papers, and if we rank all the papers according to their citation, and number of paper, so citation, one hand in citation rank, another is in their number of paper. Using this, actually this index, H index is calculated. And H index is used as an indicator of that individual author's performance or productivity. Similarly, it can be applied for the productivity of that journal or group scientist. Because suppose you want to measure some departmental performance within that university, which department is performing better way compared to other. So in terms of this productivity, who is more productive within the department than individual researcher or faculty, they will compare using that index. So it will be used for individual level, it will be used for group or department, it will be used also for the university or country level also. So overall, it will be used. So application of this H index is wide. So wider application of H index. That's why most of the people are interested in this H index. There's a lot of other index also, but it is most easy index. Now, how we create this, calculate all this. I think better I will give you some example. Then I'll come to that calculation. Suppose an author has 5 publications with citation 9, 7, 6, 2, and 1. So 5 publication, and for each publication, citation is given, say top citation is 9, second is 7, third is 6, fourth is 2, and fifth one is 1 citation. Now order is descending order, the highest, greatest to least. So in this case, author's H index is 3. Because 3 publication has more than 3 citations. So number of publication is more than particular that number of citation. So 3 publication has more than 3. So that's why out of 5 publication. So hence author's H index is 3. So if you understand this example, or I will say this one also. This one is another example related to some 15 publication. One author has 15 publication, and for each publication, the citation is say around 24, 22, like this way up to say 14th and 15th publication is 0 citation. One is 13, 12 is the nearly 1. 6th publications, the citation is the 6. So here we have given you some arrow. You see the 6 most highly cited articles have been cited at least 6 times each. The journal articles were ranked by number of citation. In this way, you have to have. So I think this one will be more. You see, the theoretically how we say this one, same thing. Now you see the citations, number of paper. Paper is horizontal axis, citation is vertical axis. And if you plot all this according to the paper, then you get some this type of graph points. And all the points, if you see this green box, rectangle box, the first H paper, more than H citation. So number of paper, more than that number of citation is that H index. So citation equal to paper equal to H, where it actually crosses. Understand this one? Okay, someone has, JS has written, what it takes to get fast researcher paper published in high impact journals, like say one research scholar single-handedly tried to achieve this problem. One, he is alone and not a part of the team. Other, he do not have experience of publishing quality paper earlier. It's like a fresh approaching big company. Yes. Yeah, definitely. As a scholar, suppose as a junior scholar, or say initially you have just after pass out, you try to take your say PhD degree, initial level, you will try to publish your paper. So obviously you are not single one, then you with your supervisor, maybe you are also publishing, or your group members, maybe more than 2. You can go in group, you can also publish, no problem. So whether you have experience or not, that does not matter. You can alone, or we can do it with your team. Is it your question related to just because I can't understand this one? It likes a fresher approaching big company. What is this one?
Sir, perhaps the participant wants to say that while we are, say, for example, if we are appearing for a job interview as a fresher in a big company, the kind of pressure that we have is kind of pressure that a researcher has for the first one big publication. So this is what the participant is trying to correlate.
Okay. Or if it is the company interview or they actually or they want to know
Yes,
that
sir.
their whether you have published or you have published jointly or like of this one. Okay, so this one is if you suppose that is the very rare case, one single one, initial junior scholar, he's published his own idea and writing all these, he's using single author. If it is, that is the best, but that is the, optimum or desired level, but it is not easy for everyone. It is partly true. Okay. It may be partly true for one do something, that is the exceptional case, but most of, on an average and most of the cases, student initially, student or junior scholar or junior faculty also, better to do some collaborative work, research work, even if you have no experience, someone has experience, and you have some idea, someone has suppose experience other things. So I think in group, if you do some research work and publish, that publication probability will be higher in that case if you do some in group. And that outcome will be obviously even in suppose in any company or any institute, if you initial level entry, then they will say what is your paper, or what is the impact or everything, a lot of. So if you have initially everything before joining any company or any job, if you have everything, then what's the need to join that company? Because if you join any company or any institute, then you add something, and they want to know only whether you are capable or not. So if you are capable or not, that is at least if you do some in group, that is group or teamwork. Initially, most of the company, especially big companies, they want to know whether you are capable to do work in team or not, or group. That is the most important. Maybe experienced researcher scholar working in government institute, private may as well join voluntarily. Yeah, any way, if that basically government institute has no restriction in this case, but they have to follow some formalities. Collaboration with the government, private, government to government, private to private, private government. So anyway, any direction you can collaborate, no problem. And that is the best way, initial level, that collaboration is collaborative work, particularly research. I think I am not talking about this one. This is, I am talking in terms of say social capital. Social capital, the publication, your this impact, everything is also connected with some social capital. How much you have network. So network will be generated through your group, your peer groups, your team members. Each team members has some their network. So you will be involved in another group or peer groups. So that way your possibilities of impact will increase if you work through team or collaboration. collaborative initial research should be in collaborative way. Even within one, suppose there is 2-3 scholar in one under one teacher supervision, then that scholar also maybe in group can publish, or different institute the same. Suppose you are working on one area, one article, and you can also collaborate with other institutes, some your friend or your someone, but maybe your working area, research issues may be very close to each other. Then you can do some collaborative work. That will better will initial phase. And recent trend is the collaboration is the more collaboration is the best way to you publish your work, and you are actually create some network. You also try to understand whether supposing one is people is doing some research in say Calcutta, another one is doing some in Hyderabad, Bangalore, or Chennai or Bombay. Then in that area, whether that type of issues is doing or any result is maybe different. So it will be easy for you.
Thank you so much, sir, for explaining this in detail. And there was one last question from one of our participants who had written that if it is like authentic to participate in paid international conferences, and if you can suggest any journal which accept book review for publication.
Recently, that type of lot of conference, particularly international conference, they conducted that conference. From that conference, they select some papers, quality papers, because in the conference, obviously, that authors will get some feedback, suggestion. That is the preliminary, and in that conference meeting, normally editorial groups will be there, and they will be as a viewer, they will observe it. Even they may be comment and suggestion it, and accordingly there from that conference, a lot of papers in the conference, they select some papers for their journals also. So that's a lot of conference sponsored by some journals also. Means that journal members, especially editorial team members, or they will send some research groups also for selecting papers from the conference. So that type of paper is you are actually presenting in conference, as well as also there is a scope of publication in that journal who are actually sponsoring, as you mentioned in that conference call for papers.
Thank you so much, sir. So you have rightly answered all the questions that were there in the chat box. And thank you for your patience for, sir, answering all the questions that are there. So we have around 10 more minutes to wrap up this session. So participants, if you have any further question, you can, or otherwise we can go towards the official vote of thanks if sir allows. So, sir, is there anything that you would like to discuss?
No, I think I am just, closing that my part of basically this one.
Okay.
And if anyone, any question, I can show you, or otherwise I can show you some more example. But I think it is sufficient for you, at least whether you understand or not. That is the most important part.
Of course. And sir, you have thoroughly explained all the factors which are there within this stipulated time of 3 hours, which was really like we could not even imagine that all the topics, like so many topics, can be covered in 3 hours. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. So if you allow, we can go for official vote of thanks and closure of this session.
Okay. Thank you very much for inviting me also and interact with you all.
Thank you, sir. So first of all, I would like to thank Professor Dinda, sir, for accepting our invitation and for being there with us for the last 3 hours. You have really enlightened not just me, but all the participants. We had a lot of queries and doubts. I could see the chat box flooded with messages, and it really showed that they were also very keen to know, just like me, that what are the do's and don'ts regarding publication in Scopus and WoS index journals, and of course UGC care index journals as well. So I would also like to thank all the participants who have joined and for being there throughout the last 3 hours, and of course like interacting at a very regular interval. So thank you so much. Thanks to our chief patron, our convener, Professor Dr. Akashdeep Muni sir, our associate dean, our co-conveners, Dr. Sharmila Kayal madam, our head of the department, and Mr. Shayok Pal sir, who is also the co-convener of this session. Along with that, I would also like to thank all the members of the organizing committee for being there with us, including Swati madam, Momita madam, Movina ma'am, Arnob sir, and all other faculty members. Special thanks to Shujoy sir and Indrajit sir for supporting us with going live and recording the session, for all the technical support. Thanks to entire team of School of Media and Communication, Adamas University. And thank you, sir, once again for being there with us and for helping us to understand these aspects of research publication. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Patience. Thank you.
Thank you. And so one last thing, the participants wanted to know if you can kindly share the PPT with them. Can you share these PPT with us so that we can share this with the participants? They wanted to know this.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you so much, sir. So participants, once we get the PPT from sir, we will surely share this with you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.